Divinely revealed, 3 miraculous insights from your younger self you must witness now. Mary stood in the quaint village church, a sanctuary of creaking wood and flickering candlelight. The air buzzed with expectancy, an electric thrill as the faithful gathered. Tonight, hope was woven into every whispered prayer. Divinely revealed, an elderly voice echoed through her mind, are the insights from your younger self. The weight of despair she carried felt lighter, infused with an inexplicable energy. As she led the prayer group, she glanced around the faces she knew so well. Each was filled with a flickering candle of faith, but Mary felt hers faltering. Memories of her child, once vibrant and full of laughter, now haunted her. The doctors had said there was nothing more they could do. Despair clutched at her heart, but the evening's gathering promised something beyond mere human understanding. When a wise elder named Agnes approached her, the air thickened with a sacred hush. "Mary," she said, her old eyes glimmering like the stars above, "you must come with me to the sanctuary." It was a place where the miraculous breathed life. Echoes of legends danced in the memories of many. Heart racing, Mary nodded, compelled by something she couldn't name. Mary stepped through the ancient doors, the atmosphere electric with divine presence. As the sun set, shadows danced around her, and she heard whispers, soft, melodic voices calling her deeper. She closed her eyes, surrendering to the moment. Suddenly, in a rush of light, she found herself staring at the radiant form of her younger self. Laughter spilled from that girl's lips like sunlight breaking through the clouds, unburdened by life's harsh realities. "Mary," her younger self spoke, vibrant and full of life, "you have lost your way. Remember these 3 insights." In that sacred space, she revealed the first: remember to dream. A bright light surrounded them, igniting the dark corners of doubt within Mary. As the moment unfolded, her heart began to warm. "Trust in the path," her younger self whispered for the second insight. "It leads to the miracles where love shines the brightest." In that instant, Mary felt a tremor of recognition, a pulse of faith she thought was long extinguished. The third revelation arrived like a gentle wind, brushing against the tears streaming down Mary's face. Nothing is beyond his reach. The sanctuary resonated with divine confirmation, and as the truths settled into her spirit, the air filled with hope, healing, and warmth. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. When Mary returned to reality, the sanctuary felt alive, the walls glowing with blessings. Sensing urgency, she committed herself to invoke the powerful intercession of Saint Michael, each prayer a heartbeat for her beloved child. Droplets of faith coalesced into waves of devotion, vibrating across the community. As families clasped hands, her earnest pleas reached divine ears, enveloping the village in a supernatural silence that would soon erupt into life-changing grace. But just as healing began to glow, affecting both her child and others, an unsettling thought lingered. Was her faith truly a spark of something grander, or just a desperate grasp at fading dreams? Standing at this newfound crossroads, she could feel the divine stirring against the backdrop of the sanctuary, whispering of a greater plan just out of reach. The answers beckoned, but would she dare to step further into the unknown? Mary lingered in the sanctuary, held by the warmth of the moment. The glow of her revelations filled her with a renewed spirit, yet questions still nudged at her heart. The signs of hope that had ignited within her grew brighter, yet a shadow of fear whispered of uncertainties ahead. As the congregation bowed their heads in prayer, Mary opened her eyes, looking around the candlelit room. Each flicker of light flickered with the yearning of countless prayers, a tapestry of lives woven together by vibrant faith. In this unity, she murmured to herself, there is divine power. With her heart still racing, she recalled the laughter of her younger self. To dream, to trust, to believe, but can I truly step into the unknown? Her hands trembled, gripping the edges of the wooden pew, her mind spinning with possibilities. In that sacred space, the air shifted. It felt as though the very walls exhaled a gentle sigh, urging her to lean deeper into her faith. Suddenly, the atmosphere thickened with the presence of divine love that wrapped around her like a comforting blanket. She could almost hear the voice of Agnes, vibrant with hope. "Look for the signs, dear Mary. They shall be made clear." Mary closed her eyes again, breathing deeply. She imagined her child, the way his bright eyes used to sparkle with wonder. She envisioned him laughing, running through sun-drenched meadows, feeling no pain. "What would you tell me, my darling?" she whispered, surrendering her desires for direction. In that moment, a soft breeze whispered through the room, stirring the flickering flames of the candles, swirling around her like a dance of joy. It felt like the gentle touch of her child saying, "Mum, trust your heart." As the prayers concluded, voices of the faithful filled the air, and Mary felt an overwhelming urge to share her experience. With her pulse quickening, she rose from her seat. "Everyone. I have been touched by a truth, a call to hope. We must believe in the unseen miracles that are within our grasp." Whispers of curiosity rippled among the villagers, an eagerness alive in their hearts. Mary's spirit soared as she looked into familiar faces, feeling emboldened to stir the embers of faith that had dimmed. "I know our hearts are tired. We have faced trials," she continued, "but I have been given a glimpse, a reminder that dreams can rejuvenate our spirits. We are never alone in this journey." Amid their heartfelt murmurs, Agnes stepped forward, her wise eyes reflecting love and support. "Let us unite our prayers once more," she urged. "Let our voices rise as one, interceding for healing and restoration. Together, we can break barriers of despair." As they joined hands, the intertwined energy of hope surged through Mary. She could feel every heartbeat send ripples of faith through the room. With each prayer, they painted a vivid tapestry of divine petitions. "Lord, bring forth miracles. Let your grace abound." We echoed heartily. In that sacred moment, Mary felt yet another divine revelation unfolding. What if the power of collective faith could summon the very miracles she sought? As their voices harmonized, a surge of love blanketed the villagers, igniting a shared awakening. Hope flared within each person, leading Mary to wonder what if they were on the brink of something spectacular, something higher than their individual dreams. But even amidst this uplifting tide, a cloud of mystery lingered. Was this newfound vigor precise enough to heal her broken circumstances? Or would God's plan unfold in a way they could never imagine? With apprehension tinged with excitement bubbling in her heart, Mary began to sense that something extraordinary awaited them. The air was electric with anticipation, sparking a question deep within: were they ready to embrace the miracle that lay just beyond their current trials? Mary felt her heart flutter. The collective energy in the room was vibrant, pulsing with a life of its own. The villagers, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight, were a tapestry of faith, each one a thread in this moment of sacred communion. The atmosphere was imbued with expectancy, an invitation for dreams to resurrect into reality. Gathered in a circle, they held hands tightly, their fingers interlinked as if to forge an unbreakable bond. Mary's pulse quickened with each shared heartbeat, as sisterly unity flooded her spirit. "What do we fear?" she shouted, her voice rising, a fervor igniting within her. "Is it not time to cast aside our doubts and embrace the wonders unseen?" A chorus of amens echoed in harmony, resonating with purpose and strength. Agnes's eyes sparkled as she lifted her hands, urging the congregation to rise in a joyful crescendo of worship. "Let us sing praises. Let our voices reach the heavens, bringing forth our heart's desires." As their harmony enveloped the room, a palpable warmth spread through Mary. She felt it in her bones, in her breath, a comforting reminder that they were not alone. Each note they sang vibrated with potential, weaving an intricate quilt of hope that wrapped around them all. "Only through faith can we glimpse the path ahead," Mary called. "Imagine what if God has a beautiful purpose for our trials? What if our scars are but blessings waiting to unfold?" Eyes sparkled with tears, heads nodded, and a collective warmth washed over the people. They began to share their own stories of grief, of loss, of desolation, but entwined with threads of resilience, love, and burgeoning hope. From the back of the room, a voice rose bravely, "I lost my way, but I found it again here, surrounded by you." Another chimed in, "I am becoming stronger than my fears because of your light." Mary's spirit soared. Each tale mirrored her own, resonating deep within as they laid bare their struggles. It was a powerful reminder that together, they were a force for change, guided by the divine. In the swell of voices, Mary sensed a stirring, a whisper of truth brushing against her heart. "We were crafted for communion," she pondered silently. What if the true essence of our existence was to uplift one another through the storms of life? Suddenly, Agnes stepped forward, her presence commanding yet gentle. "Do you see the fire before us?" She gestured towards the flickering candles. "Just like these flames that dance and flicker, our hopes may waver, but they will always burn bright. Together, we must nurture this light." A hush fell over the room as each person began to reclaim their dreams aloud, speaking life into dormant aspirations. "I will open my heart to joy, I will seek forgiveness, I will believe in miracles." Every declaration stirred energy, awakening spirits, fanning the flames of faith higher. Mary stood in that sacred circle, feeling the waves of hope washing over her. Then, unexpectedly, a symbol revealed itself in the flicker of the flames, a shape, familiar yet transcendent. A vision of her child emerged, dancing with the angels amidst a luminous backdrop. "Mum, your faith will guide you," echoed in her ears, a sweet assurance resonating through her core. Heart racing, Mary opened her arms, embracing not just the vision but a profound sense of purpose within her. "Will we muster the courage to dig deeper?" she called out. "Will we trust that there is greatness ahead?" As they answered, the feeling deepened. This was no longer just about them, it was a divine unveiling. A compelling invitation into the realm of miracles, unfurling just out of reach. And so, with an urgent breath, Mary pondered, what awaited them beyond this faith-laden horizon? What miracles lay just beyond their grasp, hidden within the shadows of their everyday trials? As the last echoes of their collective voices faded, the stillness wrapped around the room like a gentle embrace. Eyes closed, the villagers held on to the warmth they had created, breathing in the shared hope that simmered around them. The soft flicker of the candles danced as if alive, their flames whispering secrets that only the heart could perceive. Mary opened her eyes, feeling a shift in the atmosphere. There was something electric in the air, an unexplained potential that set her spirit on high alert. Just then, Agnes turned to her with an intensity that mirrored the divine fire within. "Mary, do you feel it?" she said, her voice low, almost reverent. "Something is stirring, something beautiful." "I do, Agnes," Mary replied, her breath shallow with excitement. "It's as if the very air is alive with possibilities. Could we be on the cusp of something wondrous?" With a firm nod, Agnes pushed back her hair, a determined glint in her eyes. "Let us invite that energy. Let us explore what the divine is revealing to us." Gesturing for everyone to gather closer, Mary spoke again, "Let us share what we see. What whispers have reached your hearts in this moment?" Slowly, hands began to rise, uncertain at first, but soon a floodgate opened. A neighbor stepped forward, her voice trembling yet secure. "I was shown my younger self when I was free and bold." She paused, wiping a tear. "She reminded me of my dreams, the things I abandoned in fear." Another villager murmured, "My child from years ago appeared too, I saw her strength, her faith that was unwavering. It's still in me, isn't it?" Mary listened, her heart swelling as she realized how each story connected to the last. "Yes," Mary said, capturing their eyes one by one. "In each reflection, we find a piece of our extraordinary tapestry. This is our call to reclaim that strength, to rediscover the essence of who we are meant to be." The atmosphere thickened with reverence as they acknowledged the power of their past selves to inform their future. A scribe in the corner began to write these reflections down, each word imbued with vitality and significance. What if these memories are not just artifacts of yesterday? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. What if they are lessons meant to be lived anew? Yes. Someone cried out, emboldened. What if those insights can guide us to navigate this moment? What if they blind us no longer? As they spoke, Mary closed her eyes once more, allowing their voices to wash over her. She envisioned golden threads weaving through their stories, connecting their pasts with their present. The gentle push of the Holy Spirit stirred within her. A sudden flash of light erupted before her eyes. In that instant, Mary sensed a powerful revelation. Could it be, she muttered, that our younger selves are not lost but reside within us still? Ready for revival, ready to guide us? The crowd shifted, a murmur spreading like wildfire. For every heart that had suffered doubt or despair, there was a budding understanding, a promise that healing was possible. Yet just as hope surged to a peak, a stillness enveloped them again, a sacred pause filled with a profound blessing. They raised their hands towards the flickering flames, the light reflecting bright in their eyes. Now, let us ask the question, Mary said, her voice echoing a mix of wonder and trepidation. What if the journey to our miraculous purpose begins not by looking outward but within? As silence draped over them, anticipation electrified the air. What revelations awaited them as they turned inward? What pathways could they uncover, hidden beneath the surface of their lives? In this sacred moment, each heart fluttered with the unknown, and the reality of divine connections became abundantly clear. So many threads woven into one fabric, could they truly trust in the strength of what they were about to discover together? The candles flickered wildly as if gasping for their next move. Unanswered questions hung in the air like fragrant incense, beckoning them forward. What lay waiting in the depths of their souls? What new talents, dreams, and divine blessings could they unveil through this holy journey into remembrance? The stillness filled the room, a gentle reminder of the sacred moment unfolding. It was like being wrapped in a soft quilt of expectancy. Eyes were open now, not just to the flickering flames, but to the light within each soul. Mary could see the vibrant energy sparking from heart to heart, igniting a fire of personal revelations, a divine symphony in progress. Let us take a moment, Mary urged, her voice steady yet gentle. Let us breathe deeply together, allowing the Holy Spirit to guide our thoughts, to reveal to us the quiet insights we have buried inside. They did just that, deep breaths rising and falling, harmonizing with the rhythm of their hearts. With every exhale, burdens lifted. A single tear rolled down Agnes's cheek, and she smiled through a mingled expression of joy and release. I feel lighter, as if a weight has been lifted, she whispered, her voice warm with vulnerability. What if we allowed that lightness to lead us? A younger villager chimed in, her eyes wide with the thrill of discovery. What if our past selves first learned to soar? What can they teach us now about resilience and faith? Mary nodded enthusiastically, knowing the power of this inquiry. Yes. What are the gifts they held? The dreams that need nurturing today? Each of us carries the wisdom of our past, we just need to awaken it. One by one, they began to share again, emboldened by a newfound courage. An older man spoke up, voice cracking with emotion. I dreamed of being a musician, he said, glancing around at his fellow villagers. But life swept me away into responsibilities. Could I dive back into that music? Could it bring healing? The congregation listened intently, and an unspoken agreement rippled through the room. Each story connected them deeper, like vines intertwining into a sturdy trellis, supporting fruitfulness for all. Mary leaned forward, her heart ignited. Imagine tapping into that fearlessness. Imagine reviving those sparks and infusing them into our present lives. We bear the legacy of our aspirations and dreams we must not forget. But as their spirits rose, a shadow crossed over them. The warmth began to wane, as doubt crept in. But what if we fail? Someone timidly asked. The question cut through the air like winter's chill, drawing furrows across hopeful brows. Mary held that sacred space of uncertainty. Ah, but isn't failure simply a lesson, rather than an end? What if heaven whispers to our hearts in these moments? What if every stumble leads us closer to God's heart? Anxious faces softened as the words settled, creating an echo of possibilities dancing through the air. More hands were raised, more hearts bared, sharing their dreams and the fear tethering them. As they spoke, the flickering of the candles intensified once again, illuminating the shadows lurking within. With renewed fervor, they clung to one another, voices intertwining in prayer. What if that music, those long-lost dreams, could lead to miracles? What if fears transformed into an anthem of faith? Mary opened her eyes wide, her spirit alert as she felt the Holy Spirit urging her to guide them further. Let us invite our younger selves to step forward. Let us envision what words of wisdom they would share with us. What encouragement do we need to step fully into the light? The villagers closed their eyes, surrendering to the moment, each breath awash in quiet faith. The candles flickered more bright, as if guiding them through the darkness of doubt. There, in that quiet communion, they began to sense the presence of their younger selves, lifting up old burdens, shining a light on new paths. But just as hope bloomed within their hearts, a whisper rippled through the room, echoing their shared fears. But are we prepared to trust what we discover? What else would reveal itself in the depths of their souls? What new horizons beckoned? As their hopes mingled with uncertainty, it became clear trust was the pathway that wove them together, an endless journey waiting to unfold. The air thickened, pregnant with promise and the uncharted. Each villager continued to cultivate the moment, letting the warmth of shared vulnerability wash over them. Their hearts were open cracks in the walls of self-doubt, ready to receive the overflow of divine wisdom. Mary could feel a change, an energy shimmering through the room, as if the very fabric of their existence was resonating with a greater truth. Let us listen deeply, she encouraged, her eyes bright with anticipation. What gifts do these younger selves possess? What can they shed light on? Eyes closed gently, faces softened, and they drifted inward. There, in the sacred stillness, spirits began to dance, memories swirling like autumn leaves on a crisp day. Mary could almost hear the echo of laughter, the untainted joy that once nourished their souls, the dreams once cherished and now waiting to be awakened. A long time ago, I wanted to paint, a soft-spoken woman admitted, her voice barely above a whisper but clear as a bell in the stillness. But I let fear extinguish that flame. If I could only speak to that girl, I would tell her that color is life, and it waits for no one. Her tears shimmered like little stars in the flickering candlelight. No dream is too small, a man murmured, his voice steady now. Every brushstroke is part of a bigger masterpiece. Each of us holds a palette that can paint the world anew. Mary nodded fervently, her heart alive with hope. See how the light within us urges us to create? It invites us to break free, just as our younger selves dared to dream. We can reclaim that courage, the spark that can reignite our passions. Something transformative fluttered in the air, a palpable sense of unity. As they envisioned their younger selves, the flicker of doubt began to dissolve. Instead, the collective heartbeats swelled with anticipation. What if they dared to open the door to these once banished aspirations? Let us ask them, Mary suggested. What do we truly need from them? What revelation are they waiting to share that could guide us on this journey? Finally, with serene faces, they surrendered once more, delving deeper, seeking divine connection. Suddenly, voices, low and melodic, began to flow like a gentle stream. Trust, they whispered in unison. Trust in who you are even amidst the storms. Let joy lead you. Let it be your anchor. Agnes gasped softly, recognizing the truth. I can feel their energy, it's us. It's hope. Mary could feel it, to the room alight with a collective yearning, each soul sparking a revolutionary inner dialogue. Yes, our past calls to us. Let us not dismiss it any longer. Let us grab hold of these dreams and carry them into today. The young villager from before spoke again, her voice strained yet expectant. But what if we are not prepared? What if trust leads us to unknown paths? Unknown paths are simply the way God's grace unfolds, Mary replied, smiling gently. It's in trusting His guidance that we find freedom. When we let go of control, we discover new realms of possibility. As these words echoed through the room, each soul felt a lightening, as if they were rising to meet the dawn. The flickering candles now glowed with a steady light, illuminating their faces with the warmth of divine assurance. Let us visualize holding these dreams with both hands, Mary proposed, excitement washing over her. Imagine the joy they bring. How can we share that joy with our community? How can it nourish others' spirits? Each villager began to murmur softly, the word yes rising like a prayer. They could see it clearly now, a future ignited with passion, a canvas rich with colors of hope and healing. Yet just as the wave of hope surged, a lingering question whispered back, almost as if the room sighed, but do we have the strength to trust where it leads? As they pondered this, Mary felt a gentle nudge from the Spirit, urging her to take a step forward. What door awaited them? What journey would unfold? The weight of anticipation hung in the air, electrifying every heart as one solitary truth emerged: trust was but the beginning. The hush in the room seemed to deepen, pregnant with the silence that followed the question lingering in the air. Each villager felt the weight of uncertainty, as if they were standing at the edge of an unseen cliff, gazing into the boundless depths below. Yet there was an undeniable thrill in that uncharted territory. Mary stood, absorbing the tension, feeling the pulse of collective hope mingling with fear. What if, she said, her voice steady and inviting, this uncertainty is the doorway to our greatest growth? What if trust is precisely what we need to step into a future that has been waiting for us? One by one, the villagers lifted their gaze to Mary, their expressions a kaleidoscope of hope and doubt. Agnes whispered, I want to believe we have the strength. But how can we embrace the unknown without knowing the path? Mary moved closer, her heart warmed by their earnestness. Remember, she said, there's beauty in the unknown. Think of the seeds we plant. Hidden in the earth, unsure of their surroundings, yet they trust the light will guide them skyward. Let us be like those seeds. Let us trust the light of our dreams. With these words, a wave of energy washed over them, like the sunlight filtering through the trees after a storm. Encouraged, Agnes spoke again, her voice gaining strength. What if we each share the fear we hold? Maybe in the opening up, we can uncover the light hiding in our shadows. Yes. The man from before exclaimed. Let us lay down our burdens. In vulnerability, we find strength. We can help each other rise. So they began, one woman sharing how she feared being too small in a world that often overlooks the fading whispers of dreams. Another man spoke of how he silenced his passion for music, fearing it wasn't worthy of pursuit. Each story flowed into the next, forming a river of shared expressions, cleansing them of burdens they no longer wished to carry. Mary encouraged them to breathe deeply, to feel the weight of each word wash over their hearts. As we confess our fears, she said, we allow the light of our younger selves to emerge, illuminating the shadows we've cast aside. When we hear one another, we begin to see. Suddenly, a soft golden light began to shimmer from the center of the room. Awed gasps resonated, reminding them of the divine presence that threaded through them. It danced like flickering fireflies, igniting each heart. What is happening? A villager asked, wide-eyed. It's the spirit of our dreams, Mary responded, or reflecting in her voice. As we open up, we create a space for them to breathe. Let the light speak to you. The golden glow wrapped around them, and one by one, each villager felt an unexpected surge of courage. They began to envision their younger selves standing beside them, filled with laughter and wisdom. Each soul encouraged, whispered, and fostered hope, urging them to pursue what was once thought impossible. In that ethereal light, they glimpsed fragments of their lost dreams, beckoning them forward. A voice pulsed through the room, whispering sweet affirmations. You are enough. Carry forth the dreams that light your heart. As the light shimmered, factions of their younger selves began to merge with their present, creating an overwhelming sense of unity and purpose. Mary beamed, her heart swelling with grace. Now, we must ask ourselves, what are the first steps we will take? How can we honor these revelations and embody trust in action? Yet, as the last word slipped from her lips, the air shifted again. A heavy stillness settled, muffled murmurs filled the room. The flickering flames faltered for a moment, then suddenly burst back to life. The collective heartbeat quieted, leaving them grasping for clarity. Could they step into their callings, even when doubt still lingered? With eager anticipation, the villagers shared their hopes and plans, yet in their hearts was a query that remained unspoken: would they truly find the strength to transform their visions into reality? As the flickering light continued to dance, the questions of what awaited them were not mere pondering, they were a challenge for courage. Trusting the path ahead was still the beginning. But with every heartbeat, they sensed that divine revelations lay just ahead, waiting for their embrace. What awaited them on this journey? Would they find the strength to step boldly into their future? The atmosphere thickened with anticipation, the golden light pulsating gently as if reflecting the deep breaths of the villagers. Each heartbeat felt like a promise, each moment a chance for rebirth. A quiet determination settled in the room like the calm before a storm, ready to break forth into something remarkable. Mary gazed around, her heart swelling with pride for her community. Together, we have shared our fears, she said softly. But now, let us transform those fears into foundations upon which to build. Each dream ignited tonight holds a purpose, a reason to fight through uncertainty. What if we write these desires down? Let our hopes become a map guiding us onwards, reminding us of the strength hidden behind our fears. A murmur of agreement rippled through the gathering. Agnes, her eyes twinkling with newfound clarity, stood up again. Yes. If we put them on paper, those dreams become real, tangible. They will have life, just as we give life to the seeds we plant. Motivated, villagers petitioned for parchment and pens, their fingers trembling with excitement. Mary took a moment to witness the transformation unfolding. The shadows of doubt faded with every stroke of the pen. Ideas that once flickered in the corners of their minds now danced freely in vulnerability. As each villager penned their dreams, a spirit of unity took hold. They shared stories of old ambitions, stirring echoes of laughter and longing. A young man described his childhood wish to become an artist, his passion once abandoned but now ignited anew. An elderly woman recalled the tight clutches of her own heart, where the dream of traveling the world had been suffocated. I always believed I was too old, she said, her voice shaky but resolute. But standing here, I feel different. This room is pulsing with possibilities. Maybe life isn't over when we reach a certain age. Mary could feel the air crackle with energy as old desires rose to the surface, freely dispelling the fears that had long confined them. It was magical, like the moment dawn breaks over the horizon, illuminating dark corners. Being here together has reminded me, Mary said, her voice steady yet full of emotion, that our spirits are timeless. We are all alive, every dream, every pulse within us. The light shines the brightest when we gather in love and support. Suddenly, the golden glow erupted into vivid colors, swirling and enveloping the villagers in warmth. They marveled at the vibrant hues, a sign that the divine was celebrating their courage and authenticity. Every stroke of the pen summoned forth not just dreams but the heartbeats of their lesser-known selves, intertwining with the present. As they finished writing, a sense of catharsis washed over them, yet another element of unfamiliarity lingered. The whispers of their aspirations now echoed, gently nudging them to move beyond mere longing. What now? Someone finally asked. Mary raised her hands, feeling a divine pulse enter her veins. We must take the next step. We cannot linger in dreams alone. The beauty is in the doing. Let us commit to actions that align with these dreams, they deserve to take flight. Joy flickered in the depths of their hearts, but apprehension still brushed against them like a soft breeze. What awaited them when they dared to step forward? The questions illustrated their humanity, but within each question lay divine potential. As they prepared to venture out into a world that still felt overwhelming, Mary's words rang loud and clear. Faith isn't simply believing in our dreams, it's about acting on them, despite the unknown. Boldly, each villager looked at their dream. The journey of transformation was only beginning, lingering dreams replaced by action and intent. And still, between breaths, an echo resonated within them, urging them ever onward. But would the seeds they planted flourish in the uncertainties that lay ahead? What exquisite encounters waited just around the corner, as they stepped out in faith? With renewed energy coursing through the villagers, they gathered their notes, still warm from the fire of inspiration. Mary sensed the divine spark urging them onward. We must not only dream but also listen. Each whisper of hope speaks to us. They are guiding us to pathways we had yet to explore. Listen closely, for the journey ahead will be as important as the destination. As if prompted by her words, a soft rustling filled the room. The villagers began to share their visions aloud, their voices weaving through the air like threads connecting one heart to another. "I want to start a bakery," declared a timid woman, her cheeks flushed. "Bread made with love to bring smiles to faces." Excitement bubbled among her listeners, and a chorus of encouraging words filled the space. "I will lead a community art project," the young artist exclaimed, newfound fire shining in his eyes. "Together, we can paint a mural that tells the story of our village." Every shared dream was met with applause and laughter, creating a beautiful tapestry of hope. Energized spirits intertwined, filling the sacred atmosphere with life. Around them, the walls of the room began to hum with sacred vibrations, as if the very space itself rejoiced in their blossoming determination. Mary felt an urge to amplify this growing momentum. Let us divide into groups. Let each dreamer rally others who share their vision. Together, we will make our aspirations tangible. In that moment, pairs and small groups formed, driven by shared passions and a commitment to support one another. As laughter danced lightly through the air, Mary's heart swelled at the sight of this living embodiment of communion, but as the excitement grew, so did an unmistakable anxiety murmur within her. The world outside the sanctuary of their gathering remained unknown. That apprehension pressed against the walls of her heart. How would they face the storms of reality when the colors around them began to fade? An elderly man in the back spoke up, his voice steady like a beacon amidst uncertainty. "We all have journeys that can feel daunting. But let us embrace our fears, allowing them to guide us rather than restrain us." A hush fell as his wisdom resonated deeply within each villager. "Yes," Mary replied, heartened. "Our fears can turn into fortitude. The unknown is filled with wild possibilities. It's where we will discover who we truly are. Every step we take can lead us closer to the divine purpose in our lives." The villagers stood in unison, pulsating with resolve. They took turns speaking their dreams with increasing passion, each sharing how their hearts beckoned for action. Ideas flowed, and plans began to form: a community garden, a storytelling parade, a shared bookstore infused with knowledge and warmth. It was exhilarating, but then, a flicker of doubt crossed Mary's mind. What if we fail? What if we stumble as we dare to pursue these dreams? This question hung in the air, raw and vulnerable. The gathering fell silent. Finally, Agnes broke the stillness. "Even if we stumble, dear friends, is it not better to have taken the leap? In those moments of uncertainty, we might uncover wonders far greater than we envisioned. Each step is a sacred trust in the journey." Encouragement echoed around her, lifting spirits. Mary's heart felt lighter. Yes, they would face the days ahead with love and support enveloping them. They were not alone. As dusk deepened into twilight, Mary looked around, witnessing the courage shining in each face. "Tonight, we commit to taking actions, no matter how small. Let them be rooted in faith, knowing our dreams will grow, nourished by the relationships we have built." Gazing into each other's eyes, they all felt the collective heartbeat. Yet, a question lingered: were they truly ready to embrace the wild unknown that awaited them? The light in the room dimmed. The flicker of uncertainty danced across their faces like shadows under a fading star. What miracles awaited them as they stepped into the dawn of their dreams? Would they birth new stories in the face of fear, or would something greater than their expectations unfold in ways they could not yet see? The air inside the sanctuary felt electric, charged with an anticipation that culminated as the villagers prepared to embrace their dreams. Shades of twilight lent a sacred hue to the flickering candles, their flames casting dancing shadows on the walls, mimicries of hope alive with possibility. Mary stood at the center, holding the collective energy in her heart, feeling pulses of faith rise like tides within her. Tonight, she began, her voice clear, we gather not merely as dreamers but as doers. It's time to step from the shadows of doubt into the light of action. Each face around her lit up with determination. The flames flickered in agreement, urging them onward. As they shared their aspirations, building a community bakery, an art mural showcasing their stories, even a cooperative healing circle, their excitement radiated like the sun breaking free from clouds. But remember, Mary cautioned, each step we take may feel daunting, like crossing a stormy sea. There will be waves of uncertainty. Embrace them. They will carry us closer to our destinies. Amidst the fervent energy, Agnes stepped forward, her aged hand tenderly resting on Mary's arm, eyes sparkling with wisdom. Indeed, we may stumble. But these stumbles can mold us into the very vessels of grace we seek. Yes, cried a woman in the front row, her eyes alight, I've spent too long fearing failure. Now, I choose to see it as a stepping stone. As more villagers shared their resolves, their whispers of doubt transformed into declarations of courage, the room filled with a melody of unity. Let us banish our fears. A voice called out. Let them guide us, not chain us. Then, one by one, they committed to actions. They wrote notes in unsteady hands but resolute hearts. I will volunteer at the local shelter, declared another. What better way to navigate my own healing than through service? Each addition to this sacred pledge felt like a prayer lifted to the heavens. Mary watched with tears of joy cascading down her cheeks. The light surrounding them shimmered brighter, the warmth wrapped around their hearts, whispering promises of divine support. They were not alone in this endeavor. The Holy Spirit stirred among them, weaving hope into strength. In that moment, they experienced a breakthrough. A collective understanding rippled through the room. Let us create an accountability group, suggested a young man bursting with enthusiasm. We can meet weekly, to share our progress, celebrate victories, and uplift one another through struggles. As heads nodded in fervent agreement, a rapture of laughter and sighs ignited the atmosphere, transforming trepidation into empowerment. We each have unique gifts, Mary spoke, let us uplift those who are struggling by bringing our strengths together. We'll create something beautiful. And so they formed pairs and small groups, voices overlapping as plans coalesced. Mary felt the divine embrace enveloping her, infusing her soul with a renewed sense of purpose. The sanctuary seemed to glow brighter as they committed to their path, an orchestra of faith ready to play the symphony of miracles in their lives. Then, just as ephemeral as a gentle breeze, a serenity settled upon Mary's heart. We won't always know how it will unfold, she said, but that is the beauty of faith. Therein lies the miracle that transforms our doubts. If we trust in God's plan, we open ourselves to greater wonders. With each word, Mary felt her heart and spirit igniting. Visions of her child danced in her mind's eye, laughter mingling with memories of love, a promise that every step she took nourished that beloved spirit. Her mission became clearer. Every prayer, every act of kindness, would ripple outward, shaping futures beyond her own. Suddenly, the room thickened with an otherworldly presence as the villagers joined hands, eyes closed in reverence. Let us close our eyes and offer our plans to God, Mary directed softly. May He guide us, illuminate our paths, and bless our endeavors. As they bowed their heads in prayer, a miraculous warmth descended, wrapping around the congregation. Like a divine hug. Light filled the sanctuary, pouring in through the cracks of their fears, points of illumination breaking through their doubts. I see our future filled with abundance, Mary uttered softly, her heart alight. I sense miracles waiting amidst our labor, blessings even in our uncertainties. In that sacred space, they could almost hear the whispers of heaven echoing through joy and revelation, filling their souls with peace. The air crackled with a gentleness, a reminder of love's embrace. Tears flowed freely, hearts were open, and the joy of the community surged forth. As the prayers concluded, Mary opened her eyes to find the congregation incandescent with purpose, the Spirit radiating from every heart. Our journey starts now, she declared. Together, we shall rise, acting in faith. Our dreams shall not remain dreams but shall weave into reality, through the tapestry of love we create. With renewed strength, the villagers promised to return, committing to their shared journey. Mary felt an uncontainable joy swelling within her, fueled by the constant presence of the divine. In a cycle of creation, love and faith, they would go forth as bearers of hope, messengers of miracles, transformed through their trials. Emboldened together, they stepped outside the sanctuary, into the night that whispered of life and uncharted possibilities. Hand in hand, they took their first steps into the vastness of their potential, hearts ignited by the flame of faith leading them into a new dawn. And now, dear friends, as the story unfolds and echoes in your hearts, take a moment to reflect. What dreams lie buried within you? Will you join us on this journey of discovery? This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share in the joy of these miraculous moments. Comment with your thoughts and reactions. Your testimony could ignite hope in others. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of faith. Together, let us illuminate the world with love and belief.